Well, you said Arizona State was fast. You didn't lie. I thought your team, at least when I was there Friday, I thought you kept up with them pretty well. Not perfectly, but pretty well.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, Mike. They are fast. They're small and fast. They're good in transition. They're good in rush play. They utilize the ice surface. And they did generate a lot off the rush, but part of that was because our breakouts weren't clean. Our exits weren't clean. Therefore, we turned over the puck a little too much, which fueled their transition rush play. But I thought for the most part, like you said, we did a real good job keeping their grade A shots to the outside. And when they did get some grade A chances, Ryan Willett was really good in that for us. He kept the game tight and gave us a chance to win. And on that particular night, obviously, I think it was 1-1 with about 8 minutes left. We had a grade A scoring chance. Actually, we had a power play where we didn't score. And then we had a grade A chance after that. I think it was Graydon Slipik. We had a 2-on-1 where we could have got the go-ahead. And then when you force teams to play catch-up, they're more liable to make more mistakes at times. But we weren't able to convert. And then they got a delay with the penalty, and they scored on that. So, you know what? That's a good team. I thought we skated with them. We contained their best players for the most part, but you got to give them credit. They found a way and scored when they had the opportunity.
Let's talk about Saturday. Very competitive game. Not talking about officiating, but how tough of a call was that on Saturday, late in that game, with you guys right in it to take a penalty?
You know how many calls I got on that in text? And to a T, like, that was probably our best game we played this year, in all facets of the game. And against a good team, you know, obviously the NCHC, they've got a history of winning, but we thought that game we had them on their heels a little bit. At that point, you're going, okay, let's just let this game play out 5-on-5. But you know what? They made a call. They get paid to do those calls. We did have a power play, I think, 4 or 5 minutes before that to get the go-ahead. But a great game, a great game. And it was just one of those ones where you want our young guys. They played hard. They worked hard. We did a lot of good things. You'd like to see them rewarded and find a way to win that game. But nonetheless, it's a building block for us. We said we got to continue to learn. We know we feel a little bit down off, obviously not winning any games this weekend, but we're right there. We said we're right there. Now we got to find a way to convert and also not give up many shots. But what that does, it helps prepare for us against a very good Michigan Tech game coming this Friday.
Are you surprised how quickly things have come together? And it's not necessarily on the win sheet, but how the guys have gelled and have gotten better each and every weekend so far?
Yeah, no, you know what? It doesn't surprise me because the culture is good. And I give the credit to the players and the leadership group. They've done a good job because we knew who we are. We know this is going to be a process. We know we're going to be up and down a lot, and it's going to take some time to get traction to our overall game. But our workload's there, our compete's there, our buy-in's there. The guys love coming to the rink. They love Marquette. They love being a Wildcat. And they continue to work hard. And sometimes that's all you can ask as a coach. Now, do you get frustrated every once in a while as a coach and as a player? Absolutely. But you got to understand who you are at this point in time, knowing we're continually getting better.
One of the things we talked about early on was bringing the Blue Line luncheon back. You get an opportunity to do that on Friday. I know you and Rick Conley are going to be there, but I guess talk about the Blue Line that's coming up on Friday before the Tech game.
Yeah, we did talk about that. I think we're doing it once in the front end and once in the back end. And what better way to start off than against Michigan Tech? And I think Joe's going to be there. We're going to have a couple players there. And I know one thing, I got a better haircut than Joe, so we'll have some laughs about that. But it's always great to see Michigan Tech come down here. Our biggest rivalry, it's one of the best in college hockey. I don't think a lot of people understand. Everybody talks about Michigan State or BU and Boston College. Those are big rivalries too. But this one's real unique. 90 miles away, it's bragging rights. For the UP, it's always been that way. You're in great venues, great crowds. You got the bands going. I get people calling me right now that can't get tickets because it's sold out. Well, that's what college hockey is all about. So we're super excited to start off league play against Michigan Tech.
Now, what do you tweak against Michigan Tech that you may have not done in the exhibition game?
I think we got a little more cohesiveness to our game. I thought we did a good job up there, working hard, pressuring pucks. We had to clean up some aspects of our game. Obviously, that was a first-time outing for a lot of our guys. They never played in front of a crowd that big, and even though it was an exhibition game at Michigan Tech, that was a real good crowd. So the nerves should be out of our game. We got to play with a little bit more puck poise up and down the sheet, and when we do that, I think we'll start generating a little bit more offense.
I thought the first half went pretty darn well, except for maybe the last couple of minutes. And then the second half, one wheel fell off, and then
Yeah.
the dominoes kind of fell into play. But the first half was looking pretty good.
Yep, I would agree. I think the second quarter started to get away from us just a little bit with some blunders that we had. But I would agree. I think that first quarter, going into the second quarter, there was a good battle back and forth, and I think our guys were extremely energized and kind of, you could feel the confidence build in our guys throughout the game there as we started. And, I really liked just our intensity and our focus and the energy of our sideline and everything. It was coming together well. And then, like you say, one mistake, tends to lead to too many others. And before you know it, it just kind of gets away from you. And, that's really kind of been our demise here as of lately. We got to be able to play consistently what your best is all the time, and you can never take plays for granted. And if you fall asleep or you have a little bit of a lack of focus here and there, then good teams will get you, and that's what happened.
Okay, you snuck in a new quarterback, or at least to me. Seemed to do reasonably well for what he was told to do.
Yeah, Duke. So, we had been trying to get Duke some reps and get him going in the mix there. And our plan was to try to get him a good chunk. And he actually cramped a little bit. And so we planned on playing him a few more than what he got. But I thought he did a really good job. And, he's a true freshman. And so we're just trying to continue to help foster his development along. And I thought he felt a lot more comfortable out there on Saturday than probably what he has been showing up to this point, and I thought it was a good big step for him.
I thought special teams, we played a factor in this, and we've talked about this on the air. How much was it with the wind? How much of it was the pressure?
Yeah.
How much it was shanking punts? Because there was a 12, a 13, a 17-year-old punt, or
Yeah.
a 17-yard punt. So how much did that play with the wind compared to the rush and just kicking the football?
Yeah, I think what happens is it starts to get into those guys' heads a little bit, and it starts to affect them mentally, and then they're just a little bit out of whack. And so I think that was a little bit of the biggest factor that started to affect things. It did affect the ball up there. However, I think it was similar for both sides, and we've got to be able to deal with the elements. We got to be able to be okay with adjusting and being flexible. And I don't know that we did that extremely well, just in terms of punting the ball and then receiving the ball as well. I think there was some blunders and some things that we could have done better and been just more focused, more locked in, and adjusted the conditions a little bit better than what we did.
Besides the punt, I know it was frustration for you because there was 12 men on the field late in that game when you guys were going to get the ball back, and
Yep.
it was still 3 scores. But I guess whose job is it on the line? Is it the returner's job to count, or is it the coach's job to count?
Well, I would say
how do you
it's-
go about counting for?
Yeah, definitely on the coaches. I think definitely we've got to be quicker to count on that. We had a guy out there that didn't see the signal in terms of the Bandits unit coming on, and we got to be more locked in as players, as coaches. Everybody's got to be a little bit more pinpointedly accurate to make sure that we got the right personnel on and off the field quickly. Those transitions are sometimes tough, but we've got to still be sharp with that, because that was costly. I think it really hurt the morale and the momentum at that point in time. And like you say, there was still a decent size in the score, against us, but we still could have had an opportunity to do some really good things right there.
Your defense had 2 interceptions, got a fumble recovery. Sala had a huge game. I guess you don't put this all in the defense, but I guess talk about your defense and how they're able to come away with turnovers.
For sure. Thought they did a really good job of, being put in some tough situations and coming up big right there before halftime, like you mentioned. We were able to save a touchdown, in the end zone right there where Cade had picked it off and made a good play there. And I thought the defense was just aggressive all day long. I thought we played with an edge. I thought there was just an intensity about our defense that was really good. Other than, just a couple plays, some blown coverages here and there, and a couple of, just kind of bigger plays that kind of led to some advancing down the field a little bit. I thought the defense was doing a really good job of, kind of what we had asked them to do.
Ferris State comes in, they just beat number 1 ranked Grand Valley State.
Yep.
We know Ferris is good. They well coached with Coach Anise. I guess talk about Ferris, and obviously we had the 78-3 last year down at Ferris. So what are we preaching to the guys this week?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of making sure that we don't allow the disappointment from Tech to carry over too long, and also at the same time not looking at Ferris and blowing them way bigger than what they are either. We've got to make sure that we stay focused on the things that we can correct and address our personnel issues and address the mistakes that we made on Saturday so we can be a better version of ourselves going into this Saturday. Ferris is a good team. They're big, they're fast, they're athletic. There's a lot of really good about just how they're made up in their personnel, and they do a good job with just, kind of what they're running and what they want to do against you. And, we definitely have our work cut out for us. But, what I want to see on our team is just a great competitive spirit to attack that game and that opponent in the right manner, and be able to show that we're going to go out there for a more consistent 4-quarter production than what we've shown in the past.
Was that as disappointing as it looked like on paper?
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing, to go 0-2. Not to diminish the quality of our opponent. Grand Valley is one of the best teams in the country right now. They showed that, but we were not prepared in that moment to compete, which was kind of disappointing. Across the board, when you start slow like that against a quality opponent, it's really hard to battle back. And we were, we tried in that second set, came up short, but we had a 24-21 lead and let that get away from us. So, you go through Friday and you say, okay, what did we learn? How can we be better for Saturday? And I don't know if we really made the changes we talk about, and so we got to stop being really good at talking about stuff and actually start applying the things that we're talking about. And so after Saturday's, unfortunate loss, we reevaluated. I had a meeting with every single player on the team on the bus ride back. So I sat with every single player and prompted them with a couple of questions before they met with me. But it was like 3.5 hours of meetings that I had on that bus ride to try to get an understanding of what just happened this weekend. I think we, unlocked some things, but again, all those meetings were talking. So what are we doing to apply the changes? And so practice, was a good practice yesterday, and we have another practice today where we hope to get better. And quick turnaround tomorrow, traveling to Houghton.
Because obviously you'll see a slightly different Tech team than you did the first time. I don't know by how much, but
Yeah, they're good. And Coach Jennings always makes them better as the season progresses, right? That's what we all strive for, is improvement steadily throughout a season. And Coach Jennings has proven time and again with the teams he's had that he does that. And so the team we played however long ago is going to be different tomorrow. And so we just have to be ready for that. They're having their own struggles. But I know that team, I know that leadership, and I know they'll be ready, and they've had our number historically in that building, and so we just have to be ready to compete. There's a lot of implications, but ultimately we're not concerned about those anymore. We're really focused on that next thing, and that next thing is practice today and getting better and prepared, and then once we get on that bus, it's making sure we have a good meal and prepare our bodies for competition. We get to Houghton, the next thing is getting in that locker room, getting mentally prepared, getting on the court, going through warm-up and all that stuff. So it's just a really narrow focus week for us, hopefully, because we play, in Houghton on Wednesday, and then we're at home Friday, Saturday for 2 important matches as well.
under the theory of that your meets are not at good times at times, I apologize for that, but neither one of us have control over that. Just your general thoughts on the weekend?
Yeah.
I thought it sounded like the women did what the women were supposed to do.
Sure.
Maybe the men's not quite, but maybe Saginaw's a little stronger there.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, this weekend, especially Saturday, was the fastest dual meet I've ever been a part of. in college swimming. Like, it was incredible. We had so many NCAA cuts. We meaning Saginaw Valley, Grand Valley, and us all together broke 16 pool records, which I've never seen before. And I had, like, one of our seniors, Zoe DeKevitt, basically went the time she went at conference last year. It was crazy fast, and I think the competition level went up. I think Grand Valley came in, especially on the women's side, thinking they would just kind of roll over us because they were ranked second in the country. And we went 1-2 in the 200 medley relay, 1-2 in the 1,000, and then 1-2 in the 100 back. And then their coach got a little upset and told them to all go put on fast suits and then, turn the corner. But it's kind of fun to have them squirm a little bit for sure. And we're not ones they can roll over, so that was exciting. But man, I am still in this kind of shock and awe, like how fast they went, to be honest.
Is that the first time you've ever made another team change suits in the middle of a match?
No, but they definitely, there was some, like, he went over and yelled, if anybody's got a fast suit, better get it on. And so they definitely thought it was going to be easier than we made it. But man, our 200 medley relay women, like, broke the pool record, and Cami Carboni led off breaking the pool record in the 50 back, and then she broke the pool record in the 100 back, which is not an easy record. That record was set by Rachel Helm, who was national champion in the 100 back. So, like, I don't know what got into them because they just went crazy. And Kalina just was amazing diving, and she got her second NCAA cut, so she's punched her ticket to go to Indianapolis. So pretty excited about that. There was just amazing swimming all over. And even though our men, we still have a couple guys we need back. We have several divers that we need back. But I was kind of excited because one of our freshman divers is kind of watching going, I can be in the mix. Like, I think he's really talented. And as soon as we get him healed and ready to go, I think he's going to be in the mix. I think he was excited about that. Man, there was just really, really good swimming all over, and good surprises. We had one of our seniors, Martin Wolmerens, like, came out of the blue and swam like one of his fastest times ever in season, and to anchor our medley relay and win it. And he had the slowest relay start ever, but he really came through, and our junior men really came through too. Will Count and Javier were really awesome too. And Ian leading off the 200 medley relay with his backstroke was looking better and better. So it was a really incredible weekend. So like I said, it could be one of the faster dual meets in the country. I mean, it's got to be top 10 right now. So.
Now, how do you not change your expectations?
That's a really good question, because, I mean, Zoe's times were so incredible, and I think Ale was a couple seconds off where he was at conference. And, I think we just keep doing what we're doing. We're getting ready for Calvin. We have Wayne State next weekend. We're going to go down to Wayne State. And Calvin College Invite is always one where, again, like I refer to putting on the fast suits, they get to go put on fast suits and hopefully make some relay cuts. We were really close on a couple NCAA relay cuts, which was amazing to be right now and at this time. So now the expectation is, okay, we're going to get it. So I am more confident going in there for sure.
Obviously not all healthy. 7th isn't what you wanted
Nope.
by any means, but pull out some of the positives.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tight race, with as we thought it would be 4th through 7th, and some of our athletes did have some PRs, so some great races. And then Gianna, of course, had a really good race, just a solid. She just kept moving up and looked so strong, just passed a ton of people all the way through, all the way to the finish. Top 10 in the GLIAC individually is an incredible result. Of course, and 6 of them ahead of her were from Grand Valley, so. Yeah.
There's that asterisk rule.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So really great performance and good energy from the team. They're so supportive of each other, and but we're ready to move on to regionals and beat some of those teams that beat us. It was, I think, the middle part of the race we actually ran. Of those teams, we won that part. But of course, it doesn't matter what you do in the middle. So we're gonna adjust a little bit how we race against those teams. Did some analyzing against what we did, but yes, we also are not 100% healthy. So hopefully in a couple weeks, be 100% healthy. See what we can do then and adjust a few things, and I think we can be right in there, ahead of the teams in that group that was close, because it really was 20 points between 4th and 7th, which is not a lot in cross country.
Does that mean more pack running or more you keep up with her, you keep up with her, and you keep up with her?
A little more pack running and a little more, we went out a little bit slow, and it worked out for Gianna. As you saw, she moved up through the race. Some of them, I think we went out a little too slow, and then they worked a little bit too hard in that middle section, and then lost a little bit at the end. So I think if we can move out a little bit quicker in the beginning, stay a little closer in contact, I know they're fit enough then to finish strong, and that's where I think, because actually the end part we were similar time-wise to the whole group. The middle part we were ahead of everybody, but the beginning not so much. So we just got to adjust a little bit, and yeah, more pack running, more sticking together.
Are those adjustments easy to make? That sounded wonderfully simple. It isn't probably that simple, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's not that simple, and it's sometimes, there's that fine line of going out too fast, because then you spike your lactate, and then you do, then by the end it's harder. But so if you go a little bit faster, I think we went a little bit too slow. So yeah, but getting them used to that, which we did in a few other races. In the last 2 races, for some reason we were a little bit too far back at the beginning. So just a few workouts we're going to do this week. This weekend we'll do one that'll be kind of simulate that. So I think kind of get that beginning pacing right, and then knowing what to do in that middle part. But yeah, it's not simple. Even though people think it's just you just go out and you run. There are a lot of details within the
Because
race.
my brain is thinking right now, this is kind of like rowing.
Yeah.
You all of a sudden you need to get about 2 or 3 more strokes per minute to catch back up, and that's kind of similar to what you need to do.
Yep. Exactly. So I think we're fit. We're ready. We're ready to go. Just next race will be better.
Refresh my memory real quick, because it's escaping me what happened to you this weekend.
Yeah, I would like to know the same story,
Okay,
to be honest.
That's what I thought. I thought it was kind of like volleyball. It's like,
Yeah.
we talked about it a lot, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to figure it out myself. We just didn't have a spark that we normally have, and that you guys all witness and talk about and ask questions about. We just didn't have that on Sunday, and it's a weird one, because we had a good week and had enough rest and playing for our lives, and I think it happens in soccer sometimes, or just in athletics in general. Sometimes you just don't have it, and although there were good moments in the game, the type of goals that we gave up were pretty emblematic of the lack of spark for the match. A set piece from the other half when we were inside their box, went backwards, fouled a guy, and then turned our back and let them play a quick free kick over the top, and it was route 1 for the first goal. So that just tells you we just didn't have the buzz that we normally do, and so but the soccer gods are interesting, and Purdue lost both games, and it gives us a playoff game for Friday. And so as tough as Sunday was, the guys know that everything's still in front of us, and I think that's the approach that they're going to take.
So how do you kind of twist it and tweak it up for Friday?
You know what? We're not going to do anything like that. I think we're just going to play all week, have fun, and just get back to basics, kind of. I don't think they can learn anything else. I think it's just all about finding the right combination of guys that are going to go out and battle for the program. And so that's what we're going to do all week. Obviously, some guys are in recovery today, but I'm going to put out a lineup that I think is going to battle and fight and scrap for every single loose second ball, that's going to battle for every aerial ball, that's going to just put their body on the line to help us get across the finish line. Because if we win this game, then we're in control of our destiny. And there's so many different variations of our conference because it's so tight for everywhere. But we could end up tying both games and still qualify for the playoffs. So for us, we got to go. We got to get 3 points on Friday. We know that. Purdue knows that. It's basically a playing game. So there's no real question marks on what's at stake. And in that position, I think every coach is going to want guys that are just going to want to battle. and it's not about being pretty or trying to play the right way, or it's just about winning a game. And I think that's going to be our approach.
Well, you should be the happiest one here today.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. It was a good weekend.
I mean,
yeah,
you're definitely not Mike, you're definitely not Alex,
Yeah.
you're definitely not Jenny.
yeah.
You got some results that you wanted to get. And
For
you
sure.
got 'em, and you got them in a, well, okay, we were a little bored in the first half that it took you 25 or so minutes to score.
Yeah.
But other than that, and maybe a little slow in the second half Friday, but otherwise their weekend seemed to be close to perfect.
Oh, that's a perfect way to sum it up, right? I think so too. I was kind of reflecting on it yesterday, and that's the exact word that I used. It was a perfect weekend for us, and in particular when you've got 14 seniors and you're trying to figure out game plans and how to include everybody and try to send off everyone on the right way. You know, those things worry you a little bit and stress you out. And so, to your point, perfect weekend. In order to send off the seniors in the way that they deserve after all the hard work that they put into this program, and you know, and especially getting us to a point where we've, you know, reached a lot of our goals over the last few years based on the amount of dedication and commitment that they've put into this program. So, to your point, perfect weekend.
Okay, now you made probably all the seniors happy, I hope. What's next to keep them happier?
Yeah, you know, I think right now it's still trying to accomplish our goals, and you know, I think this weekend presents an opportunity to take a good sized step towards those goals. And Parkside they've been a thorn in our side for a few years now. They're very difficult to play against. They have a lot of fight in them. And they don't quit, and they work extremely hard. And Brittany does a very good job at getting them prepared and ready for the weekend. And so, you know, we always want to win the ones at home. And in terms for our goals looking forward, this one is very important. And so we have to make sure that our bodies are recovering, making sure we're developing the right game plan, looking forward to Friday, and understanding that it's a very difficult matchup that we have coming in town.
Is it a stylistic thing that you have to adjust to because they're kind of always coming at you? They don't take a lot of breaks?
I don't know if it's necessarily a style issue. It's just more so they just have a lot of grit in them, right? And they compete for everything, and they've got some special players up top that can hurt you through one big ball or through combination play. So like when they're on, they're on. You know what I mean? Like they're very difficult to break down in terms of just in the run of play. They defend off set pieces very well, and so like overall they're organized at times, and then like when teams have found ways to exploit us, and that's really just on the counterattack and transition moments. And so we got to make sure that we're able to deal with those because they do have the weapons up front to really make us pay.
So you have to out-grit them.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the name of the game is, you know, like I think, you know, one of my favorite sayings is, you know, there's no real secret to success, right? You know, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of consistency and intensity. And so hopefully all that shows up in the week leading up to the game within training, and because that's where it all stems from.